you will not even dare, which is a red flag. How do you identify, Mr. Babala, some of these investment schemes that are red flags and it's a no-go area?
Yeah. Any investment platform that promise 10% to 25% monthly, it's a scheme. It's a scam. You see, the banks, when you keep your money in a bank, the best they can give you, I think, is 2.5 annually. You see, yeah, there are investment companies that can tell you that they can give you 10% annually. It's realistic. Those figures are realistic. If an investment company tells you that, oh, if you put in 1 million, we can give you 10% annually, it's realistic. That's very feasible. You understand? 100,000, then your principal deposit of investment is still there. Your 1 million principal is still there after giving you your profit of 10%, and which is 100,000. That one is very certain. You see, but any investment, when they start telling you that, oh, if you invest 25 million, they're going to give you 25% annually, 25% monthly, it's a big scam. That's a red flag. You just need to run away from that.
Talk less of 100.
You want to talk less of 100 monthly. Even if they tell you 100 annually, it's a big scam. Now, with the real estate company, let's say the real estate investment company can be able to analyze that investment in terms of location. They say, okay, if you invest 10 million in a particular property, the real estate company can value that property that it can increase in a percentage rate annually of 500%. But this is not what they will promise the investor. They can promise the investor 10% annually or 20% annually. With real estate, it can be realistic. But with any other investment, it's a fat lie. Or the investment in people. Because if you go give 2 million somewhere for somebody to develop your human capital, develop your skill, you can be able to develop skills that you can have multiple jobs and make more than that amount that you invested in developing that skill.
Well, Mr. Babala, you keep voting and advising our audience out here to, invest in real estate. Now, if I get you correctly, if you invest in it, you have, with time, you're going to get the profit.
Yes.
Now, the question is, what if you go and get a property which has a problem, or you buy a property which you don't get at the end of the day?
Okay.
How do you handle that kind of case?
Yes, that is why you need to go through a real estate company. You need to go through a real estate company
and how do you identify
a credible real estate company, very credible real estate company. You need to go through a real estate company and a credible real estate company. Like we have so many Cameroonians in the diaspora who don't go through their family members again to buy properties from Cameroon. They buy directly from the real estate company, and the real estate company, DHL, they document to them directly to the US or Germany or the rest. They do visual inspection. They can even send their family members to go and inspect the land. But they send the money directly to the real estate company's account. You understand what I mean? Now, you need to do a background check of the real estate company. And real estate company, they must have, at least the real estate company must have been there for 5 to 10 to 10 years or 15 years. They must have been practicing. You're seeing that this real estate company is credible, before investing. And also before investing, it's also good to consult your barrister, your legal counsel, before you want to invest into real estate. Consult your legal counsel. They should look at the documentation. What is very important is the documentation. Look at the documentation of the land. If it's a state land or a native land, but there are other lands that are not state lands, and there are lands which are not even, they don't have land title, but they are native lands which are also problem-free lands, because 95% of lands in Cameroon are not titled. So you cannot be waiting to buy a title land. The only lands that have red flags are lands that have problems, lands that belongs to the state. Because even if you buy that land and you live in that location, even after 30 years, you can still be evacuated from that location. So go through with a real estate company. Go and get consultancy from a real estate company. Let them tell you where to invest your money as far as real estate is concerned. And also get the training for real estate. I have friends in the US, in Nigeria, that paid $5,000 to get training on real estate. To just get the training, even as an investor. Somebody who don't want to practice real estate but want to invest in future into real estate, pay this money. We have real estate companies in Cameroon that are very credible, like Crown Homes, a subsidiary of Oliver Group, and they are launching a university now, a real estate university, a premier real estate university in Africa called Babila George University, where young people can have skill, because everybody will meet is a potential real estate investor. If you don't invest in commercial real estate, you will one day build a house. So you need to know.
You definitely.
So that's the real investment.
And you need to know all these things. I hope our televiewers out there are jotting a thing or two, or are learning from what the education Mr. Babila George is actually giving us now. All right, so we have this other reaction here. It's the very thing, okay, with Text Global. My name is Raphael. I'm in Buea. Okay, thank you very much, Raphael, and thank you for watching. I don't know what you're talking about. Probably your message should be more explicit. So I'm going to leave that now and go over to Mr. Lyonga. Now, Mr. Lyonga, you are a youth. And of course, you're working very, very hard to make sure that you know, have some level of, you fix up yourself, and not only fixing yourself, you fix up your community. We have stated the fact that some youths are lazy. And some youths are gullible to the extent where they fall prey to some of these, you know, Ponzi schemes. What do you think are the other reasons why some youths are actually, because youths are they are the forefront of these things. You rarely hear somebody who is old falling prey to these things. They are mostly youths, the early 20s, and you know, the teens, that the people who are falling prey to this thing, especially with the Moneyman. So please, what other points can you raise? What do you think are the different causes for some of these youths indulging in these activities?
I think as a youth, you should not anticipate that you can live faster than your age group. I don't think much is expected of a 19 to 25-year-old person in Cameroon. We're not yet in the developed world. Not really that much. So I don't see the reason why you're looking for 400 million, 100 millions and all the like. That's an age for you to be building your career, building your ideas, building your network, enriching your mind, so that you can have a lot of time to expand it when it gets to your 30s. Now, Buea is, for example, Buea, I've realized it's a town where there are a lot of funny lifestyles that are empowered by just finances.
Exactly. And
you have youths now who want to have these finances to live that lifestyle. Like shockingly, I entered a taxi once with a father, and he was grumbling about the fact that he walked into his daughter's room, and everything that was in her room was so expensive that put together his whole house, he couldn't meet up with it. So the father didn't want to enter the room. He put everything he brought to the young lady back in the taxi and was going back to my 17 to go back to the village. Now you have the fact that you can't explain the wealth of your children, and they use these wealth systems to oppress other youths. Because the social media is like a platform.
Now you're talking about peer pressure, and you think peer pressure can actually be one of the reasons why youth can indulge in these activities. Oh, because I'm doing Moneyman, I can easily influence a friend of mine to equally do.
Because they leverage on their friendships. Like a youth enters Moneyman today, they have robbed Peter and they have paid him, and he calls the next person, they rob Paul and they pay him, and that's how they are calling their network.
That is how they are calling their network, Mr. Lyonga. Now, this other reaction here, how can you identify a good real estate company? Because many chiefs sign more than 3 sale documents for the same piece of land and for 3 different people. Mr. George, some of these real estate companies in Buea too are also scammers.
No, how many real estate companies do we have in Buea? We have a lot of people who go out there and say they are real estate companies who are not real estate companies, you know. The truth is, like, when it comes to real estate now in this city, I think we stand out. And we have been able to be organizing programs that are rare in Cameroon. Like the last year, we organized FACO Global Property Brokers Conference. This is to bring, we try to bring people to teach them the process of acquiring properties in Cameroon. We also teach young people who want to get into real estate consulting to be able to build integrity. You understand? To build integrity. Oh, talking about chiefs, we know there are a lot of chiefs who are also into a lot of mafia when it comes to lands. But the truth is, when a community approach me as a person and they tell me that they want to sell land, I first of all ask them their lawyer, the community lawyer. Like one just got to us. We have asked the community lawyer. We signed a memorandum of understanding with the community lawyer. And my own lawyer is aware of it. My own lawyer is aware of it. So now when we say, okay, people should go and buy in that location, we are sure that this land doesn't have problem because we have done all our checks.
All the findings and everything has been verified.
Yeah.
Now this other reaction here quickly before we go. Thinking to invest with Tex Global. Don't know if it's a good company to work with because I have been hearing a lot of negative reports about the company. All right, thank you there very much, Mr. Lyunga. Do you think Tex Global is a good company to invest your money with, despite all odds and all the negative reports which are being raised here and there? Do you still advise people to invest with Tex Global?
I would say no. Let them brush off what they are going through first, and then the community is now certain that this is back on track, because at the moment they are facing on the social media too much pressure and too many attacks, and we know a lot has gone wrong through that kind of
a lot has gone wrong. So wait first to hold your horses. Don't be in a rush. When it's the right time, you could make the investment when they have cleared all the negativity in the air. Now before we go, Mr. Babila Josh, what advice can you give to the government? Because these companies are coming up a lot. What advice can you give to the government in order to curb some of these illegal companies who are coming in to fraud people of their money, and the next thing they are vanished? How do you think the government can handle this situation?
I think there is a Ministry of Chamber and Commerce, and I think that like in a city of Buea, we need a chair, somebody that can be chairing boards. Like at least every month, all companies, proprietors should be able to have meetings, with the regional delegate of, I think, Trade and Commerce. I think they are in Limbe, right? We should be able to have a meeting with them on regular basis, to talk about most of these challenges, and also to build policies and resolution on how to go about all this. So the recommendation I give to government is that government should be able to have more engagement with the stakeholders. You see, because many people fall prey to this because they don't really understand the dynamics of investment, and the government have a greater role to play in this, to stop most of these scams around in terms of investment. But I want to give an advice also to most of these companies that are currently experiencing crisis. We may not really have full details about their problem in terms of operation, but my recommendation I will give them is that it's not good to keep quiet. It's good for you to go out there, hold a press conference, talk about the crisis in your company so that you can clear off some doubt. A lot of people say a lot of things, that damages your brand, and your brand is you, so there is a need for a press conference. There is a need, if your company is facing crisis, talk with your customers, organize press conference. They will not kill you. Organize a press conference. They will not kill you. Organize, talk. Most of these international and multinational companies you see, when they have a little worries, from the end of their customers, within 5 to 30 minutes, they issue a press conference. They clear off the air. Even if they are owing their customers, they make sure they organize a press conference so that
definitely answer the questions that are running in the minds of the people. Well, thank you very much, televiewers, and like our panelists have told us, and like we have all learned today, please be vigilant, be wise, do not fall prey into some of these companies. And I'm sure by now you should be able to detect when a company is about to fraud you, and of course you have to take to your heels. My youth out there, try to endorse yourself into businesses which are legit, which you can do on your own. You do not necessarily need to invest with a company. You can start a small business of your own, and of course you can equally make ends meet. Dear listeners, dear televiewers, that is what we could put together for you. Oh my God.